Good morning, class. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started for our lesson today. And so in health, we are going to go over the lesson called What's on Your Plate? This is going to come from the course standard for list a food source for each of the major nutrients. So today we're going to be talking about food groups. So, as I just said, today we will be talking about food groups. Our food groups tell us the way our foods that we eat are broken down. Today we will talk about the different food groups, how our food groups we eat are broken down into different groups. Then we will talk about our assignments and what you need to have prepared for tomorrow. So, just an overview of what I just said. We are going to talk about what we eat during the day, what those specific foods line up to in a food group, and what food group they belong to. So here's a few words to know that you're going to be hearing. A food group is just a group of foods that share similarities. So that may seem a little confusing, but it'll make more sense in a second. So for instance, vegetables. These are our greens. This is lettuce, cucumbers, green beans. You could think of more like broccoli, spinach, anything like that. Usually these are the ones that most kids turn away from, and they're like, ooh, vegetables, I don't like my vegetables. But really and truly, they're very good for you, and some of them are very yummy. Our second food group are grains, and this is your rice, oatmeal, cereal, bagels, and these can be really good for you just in the right proportion. Our next group is my favorite, and that is our fruits. That's watermelon, strawberries, grapes, lemons. You can think of more like kiwi, blackberries, blueberries, pineapple, everything. If it's really, really sweet and grows naturally, it's usually a fruit. Not always, but usually. Our protein is our meat, so that's ham, turkey, tuna, beef. You can think of more shrimp, anything like that. And our dairy is our milk products. So this is milk, obviously, ice cream, yogurt, pudding. So the ice creams that you like to buy in the lunchroom or have at home when you get home from school, that's dairy products. And when we have a friend in our class who's lactose intolerant, and that is where they have an intolerance of milk, dairy products. Okay, so this is our food group. So you see that it's a big triangle, and it's sectioned off into foods. And you will notice lots of foods that you know or that you may eat on a daily basis. So starting at the very bottom, these are our vegetables. These are also our fruits. So you can see all the way to the left, we have some carrots and broccoli. Then we have some tomatoes. On into the middle, we have orange juice and oranges and apples and bananas. So this is shows you that you should have 5 to 7 servings of these a day. Level above that, you have the grains. So cereals, breads, potatoes, pastas, and rice. You can see pictures of those, and you should have 3 to 5 servings of those a day. Above that, we have our dairy products, which is milk, yogurts, and cheeses. Above that is our protein, which is our meats. And so you can see that looks like to be some salmon, some chicken, stuff like that. And then above that is another group, and that is your fats and your spreads. So like butter, olive oil, vegetable, stuff that you use to cook. And then above that, at the very top, is what a lot of you bring to lunch and what a lot of you have when you go home each day, and that is your snacks. This food's super high in fats, sugar, and salt. And you should not eat those every day. I know they're good and I know they're your favorites, but they're not good for you at all. Okay, so here's our assignment for today. This is what I want you to do as you watch this lesson. This is what you're going to do independently. So our assignment today is called Lunch Today. On today's lunch menu, we have baked fish sticks, broccoli, mashed potatoes, milk, and pineapple. Sounds pretty good. Tell me what each of these foods are in. So you're going to tell me what food group fish sticks are in, what food group broccoli's in, what food group mashed potatoes are in, what food group milk is in, and what food group pineapple is in. So Figure that out, write it down, bring it in tomorrow, and you should be good to go. Okay, for tomorrow's assignment, I want you to think about what you had either for breakfast this morning or for dinner last night. On the blank piece of paper I am leaving for you, draw your meal. So draw your plate with your meal on it. Be creative as you can. Next to each food, write what food group that individual food belongs on. So if you've got a chunk of cheese, draw an arrow, tell me what that belongs to. Then draw a food pyramid with only those food listed in that correct food group. So if your meal is a beef patty with a baked potato, some broccoli, and orange juice, build me a pyramid and only put those foods in the pyramid where they go. So you put the beef patty with your meats, you would put the potato with your grains, you would put the cheese with your dairy. Make sense? This will teach you to recognize the different food groups discussed in our meals each day. When you get to class, discuss with your classmates their different meals. So by recognizing what food we eat and what food group that belongs to and how many portions we should have each day to sustain a healthy diet, this helps us to grow and develop in a healthy way, the way that we should. So, just to overview, I'll go back to the last page. We have different food groups, and the foods that we eat each day belong to those food groups in whatever way that they do. And it is very important to learn those food groups and to understand what foods are in those food groups. So like I said, that we can be healthy and make good choices. And that top little bitty tier that we saw of the snacks is what we need to stay away from. I know they're good. I know they're yummy. We all like candy and we all like brownies and stuff like that, but it's not healthy for us. A banana or a string of cheese would be better. So, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope you learned something, and I will see y'all tomorrow.